All right, can you all hear me now? I was just talking and talking and talking, and nobody could hear me. So I think that you all can probably hear me now. Thank you. So the reason why it was muted, it wasn't actually muted. I was actually filming a reaction video right before this, and I was using a wireless mic, and the settings were still on the wireless mic, so I had to switch back over to my MacBook. So nice to see you all. What I was saying, and you couldn't hear what I was saying, is this will be just a simple Q&A live stream. I've been having a lot of members-only live streams here lately, and I wanted to give everyone else a chance to ask questions about the channel or future content or anything that may be on your mind. I'm going to start reading the chat messages here. I see a lot of greetings. I appreciate you all tuning in. Hopefully the connection is okay. If it doesn't hold up, I may try again. So Wandering Huntress says, would you consider a reaction to Daria? That's on my list. It's just not a whole lot of people have recommended it. Beetlejuice says, love your videos. Can you please do the Hey Arnold episode Girl Trouble? If you put it in the comments to my videos or a video that you would like to see that, I will take it down. Nice to see everybody. We've got Emiliano telling me I'm muted, Sarah Martinez, Zach Flakerton, Joseph Roth telling me I'm muted, Wandering Huntress, Rocky Rocks, Emiliano says it's a prank. It wasn't a prank. I was just filming something else right before this, and I was using a different microphone. M3RK was also telling me they couldn't hear me. Byron Chavaria, nice to see you. Tyler Caswell, how are you doing today? I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing well as well. You guys are telling me that you can hear me now. And this connection isn't great, but it seems to be working so far, and I see a bunch of questions coming in. So I'm going to just go down and thank you, mods, for helping me out today. Let's see. DeLuna. Certain people on this channel have a thing, and DeLuna Art Studios' thing is that they say that they left something extremely important to come to either a premiere or a live stream. It's always pretty funny. Wandering Huntress, I mentioned, yes, I would do Daria. I don't know really even what that is offhand, but I know that a couple of people have recommended it. I would have to look at it to see. Let's see. Auditect. Hello, Principal. I'm sure your students ask you this all the time, but how's it pippin' and poppin' and flippin' and floppin'? I don't know if I've ever been asked that, but my day is going good, thank you. Zach Flakerton, how long have you been teaching? I am just over 20 years experience, so that includes a bunch of different things, including between 8 and 9 years of actual classroom teaching. The rest was other roles as an administrator. Noe Ramirez, what do you think about students with ADHD? I think students with ADHD have specific needs, and those needs are different with every student, whether you have a disability or not. I think that we try as educators very hard to learn as much as you can about ADHD and serve their needs as well as we can. I see this chat window is, I gotta enlarge it to see who donated. Emiliano Brito, I very much appreciate it, my man. It says, you keep being mijo, make me proud. I like that. That's pretty good. I appreciate it, Emilio. If I can ever do anything for you, let me know, okay? I'm going to scroll back up and go back to the chat messages, and I won't be able to read all of them because we're getting to have a lot of people in this live stream, but I'll read as many as I can, okay? M3RK, how do you like your new administration job? It's fantastic. I work with a great group of people. I've been enjoying it very much. Mark Page, can you do SpongeBob the Slumber Party soon? Not a lot of people have recommended it. So which one I do next always depends on how many people have recommended that episode. And so I don't think that one's very highly recommended, but if you've recommended it before, then it's on the list somewhere. Brandon Clardy, when is the next Recess episode? I haven't done one of those in a while. The more the channel grows, the more requests I get, and the harder it is to deal with them all. So I do plan to go back to that at some point, particularly the movie School's Out. A lot of people have asked for that. By Pilot, another 2 reactions to your episode of Squidville since the last stream. Yeah, that's true. I was just watching it a while ago. I do watch them to kind of proofread them to make sure everything's okay before I publish it. Tyler Caswell, I know you've been wanting to see the Rugrats reaction for a while. I promise you I'll get to it, but it's a struggle to get through everything. Joseph Roth, you should react to Victorious. I definitely plan to. It's on my list. I don't know if I'm coming to the realization that I'm not going to be able to go from beginning to end of that series, but I will do some of it. Beetlejuice, what's your favorite food? I'm a big pizza fan, especially certain spicy varieties of pizza, hot sauce, buffalo chicken. I'm fond of that. Cameron Bailey says they made it. Nice to see you. Isaac, you've been watching the channel for a long time, and I really appreciate it. He says, could you do Zoe 101 after Ned's? I was going to. I'm realizing that, like Victorious, it's not the kind of show that's going to fit well going from beginning to end, because there's a lot of episodes. I went through and just watched snippets of random ones so that I could see what it's about. And there's way more like relationship stuff than school. So I may just do select episodes of that. Blot, will you play more games on the channel? I plan to. I was just getting ready the other day to play some Stanley Parable. I really enjoyed that, and I want to do more of that one. But yes, I do plan to. I just got a brand new MacBook, and I plan to use that to play some of the games on the channel. Dr. Ord 1994 says, hello, buddy. Alex Wahlberg says, I recommend the show Freaks and Geeks. Vampire Miranda says, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Ryan G144 says, welcome. Zach Flakerton, what are your favorite aspects of being an educator? You really get close with students, and you get to hear about their things that you're dealing with, and you're able to help them. You're able to help a lot of people. That, I would say, is the biggest thing. Helping them by educating them, and then helping them with things that come up that get in the way of their education. Dr. Ord, greetings from Estonia. I love my international viewers. About 70% of my viewers are from the U.S., therefore about 30% are outside. So I love all my international viewers. SM4XX, I notice you've got a very sharp mind. What do you do to keep your mind so sharp? Really just use it. Some people do Sudoku, some people do crossword puzzles. Really anything you do that exercises your brain is going to keep yourself sharp. Mr. Assassin, hello, how you doing today? I'm doing fine, thank you. Mark Page, Brandon, can you do SpongeBob the Slumber Party soon? I think you asked that before. Bluey Fan, hi guys. Trevor Beast, Victorious is a good show, but Zoe 101 would be much up your alley. I thought so, but I'm also seeing it's a lot of stuff that I would rather not have to deal with, like entire episodes that aren't at school that are just really relationship stuff. But I'll look for some good episodes of that. Sid Singh, react to Henry Danger soon. Future Earth says hi. And I am getting very behind here. I'm going to have to skip some of these shorter messages. I'm sorry. Just Shadow, finally I made it to another stream. Auditect, what's your favorite SpongeBob? Mine is SB129. I remember that one. I actually didn't like that one so much, but that's okay. Everybody's got their favorite. I really liked SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. I really liked No Free Rides was good. I liked Krusty Towers. I think Krusty Towers is my all-time favorite. Reading through messages. If you're a channel member, I promise you I'll read your message no matter what. We've got 160 channel members now, which blows my mind. Mr. Inspective, hello Brandon. We'll be getting early access to new videos on Sunday despite the holiday weekend, catching up and getting organized after a vacation. No, you will get your episodes. I try to stay at least 2 or 3 weeks ahead. As a channel member, if you're on a roll and above, you will get your episodes early every single week no matter what. Anna Waymeyer, very nice to see you as always. Dr. Ord, yes, I know Estonia. Never been there myself. A lot of Americans have a really bad reputation about knowing geography. I'm pretty good with geography. Renata Rezepa says, greetings from Poland. Very nice to see you here. I love me some Chopin, Frederick Chopin from Poland. I've never been there myself. Chopin was the man. By pilot, it is very highly likely to be autistic, and I'm working on it with my therapist to try and get disability, but I graduated high school with an honors diploma. Graduated with honors, which is an honor for everybody, whether you have a disability or not. So good for you. That is awesome. Let's see. And I apologize if I skip your message. It's just not going to be possible to read them all. Emil Nordland, hello, can you watch Recess, Powerpuff Girls, Fairly Odd Parents? Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Here's my advice to all people on this stream. If you would like me to react something that you really want me to react to, put one thing. Like, don't put all your favorite shows in a ginormous list. It's just not feasible for me to read all of that. One item. Midnight Kitten, nice to see you. Midnight Kitten is the 3rd longest running channel member of all time on the channel. Nice to see you here. American Dragon, never reacted to that. DeLuna Art Studios, are you going to do another giveaway soon? I was working during the last one. Yeah, sorry about that. I think 20,000 subscribers. If I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'll do some more giveaways. Don't get me wrong. I love a good giveaway. It's actually a lot of fun to do that. Yes, it costs me money, but I don't mind that. I think at 20,000, maybe I'll do a little more than I did last time at 15,000. At 20,000 subscribers, I'll do some more giveaways. Magnum GTL, nice to see you. Zach Flakerton, have any of your students found your YouTube channel? Yeah, there are some students out there that know about it. Not that many. Why? Because I never ever talk about it at work. Ever. I keep that separate. I think that's professional. Okay, is Malcolm in the Middle, SM4XX, is Malcolm in the Middle on your list? It is on my list. Some people have asked for it, not a ton compared to the other shows, but a lot of people have. It's on my list. Richard Melendez, love your channel. I appreciate that. Mark Page, give me an episode of SpongeBob that got the most recommendations. I don't track it by date, my man. I just track it cumulatively over the life of the channel. Vampire Miranda, who's the favorite top student of your school? You know I can't go there. By pilot, playing with an oversized hairdryer is a lot of fun. Well, you do you. Ashton Gillen, hey Brandon, love your reaction videos. I appreciate it. Nintendravert says, can you do a playthrough of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom? A lot of people have mentioned that, so I think I'll have to do that. Joseph Roth, I'm a burger and pizza fan. Blizzard Peak, how's your day going? It's going good. Tyler Caswell, what's your favorite episode of Ned's Declassified? I like the one that came out yesterday, honestly. Woodshop, that was my favorite in a long time. The Bus with Mr. Quest is also a good one. Zach Flakerton, let me just, I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Sorry if I skip yours. Midnight Kitten, has anybody made the recommendation of Ed, and Eddie? Yeah, it has. It's one of those that's been recommended some, but not quite enough to put it at the very top of the list, but it's there. Auditect, Battle for Bikini Bottom, I plan to do that. Killer Instinct, how would you like Principal Moss as a coworker? You know, when I did King of the Hill, which my King of the Hill videos, it's funny, now that it's being rebooted, I've heard it's getting more views. It's sort of taken off, but he does try to enforce the rules, but he's so negligent in other areas. I think he would probably be fired. I'd probably have to let him go, honestly. I think he got D tier on my tier list. Cameron Bailey, what's the hardest thing about being a principal? There's a lot. It is very stressful. The hardest thing is probably that you are the person who is responsible for the entire school in its entirety. It's you. I mean, there's no one else that you can turn to and blame it on. Even if it's things that you had nothing to do with, you're responsible. So just that level of responsibility is the hardest thing. Save Me. Are you going to do more King of the Hill? To Spank with Love. Yeah, I tried that one. I think that one's probably a little too much, if you know what I mean. So, but I do plan to do more King of the Hill. Anna Waymeyer. Recess might be a good series to do from beginning to end. You know, I kind of like that idea because it is all in school. It's clean. It didn't get the most views of any other show, so I'd have to think about that. Brian Nussbaum, I will be reacting to Abbott Elementary. A lot of people asked for that. I'm gonna have to do that. Noe Ramirez, do you believe that college is for everyone? I do not believe college is for everyone. And the chat just skipped, and I lost my place. Hold on. Bear with me. I just completely lost my place in the chat because what happens is it'll lag for a minute and then it'll just load a whole bunch of them and it'll scroll down without me telling it to. I lost the question. Oh, give me a minute. Okay. Okay, I found it. College is not for everyone. You got to ask yourself, what do you plan to do? And if what you want to do requires college, then good. If not, don't go. I mean, it's not for everybody. There's a huge push nowadays for tech programs and stuff like that that has become far more important. And industry certifications and certificates and stuff like that. By pilot, I'm going to do Plants vs. Zombies eventually. I promise you. Okay. Anna Waymeyer, channel member. I meant Neds, not meds. I know what you meant. Teacher's Pet might be an interesting show to check out. I'll look at that. Is it REI? Is it possible to watch SpongeBob the movie reaction outside of membership anytime soon? You can thank Paramount for that. I tried. My original intent was to make it public for everyone, but it just didn't work. I've been battling with them about that. Let's see. Scrolling down. Emery, nice to see you. Another one of our international viewers from Germany, I believe. Nice to see you here. And I know, what time is it here? It's probably pretty late over there. I think there's about either 6 or 8 hours difference. So thank you for tuning in. Lane Shoes Cardboard. There is one episode of Victorious that's a parody of The Breakfast Club. Okay. Thank you for modding, by the way. Let's see. Salty06, South Park would not be suitable. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people ask for that and stuff like Family Guy. I'm just not going to do it because of that reason, because of the content. Anna Waymeyer, you do a great job organizing your channel. Very professional, enjoyable. I appreciate that. I try. Joseph Roth, can you react to the Loud House special episode, Schooled? A lot of people have recommended the Loud House. I do plan to do that eventually. By pilot, I identified every country in 7 minutes and about 30 seconds, and I have the screenshot as proof. Okay. All right. And I'm sorry if I skip your message. I know what it feels like to be on a live stream and you type something and the person doesn't say it and you get frustrated. It's impossible to read them all. It's not possible. Reading in the chat. I'm reading all of your messages. I am reading them all, at least. Emery, channel member, what is your opinion on ADHD in students and what are the difficulties? Someone asked about this earlier. So ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I think. I may be getting that slightly wrong, but it's a disability. It's considered a disability. And like all students with disabilities here in the U.S., you're going to get a specialized plan. There's a law that's been around a long time, IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, that governs how that works. It's a federal law. You can't opt out of it. And if you have ADHD and you have a doctor's documentation proving that, you are entitled to a lot of different things and services. And the intent is to meet your needs, to meet your individual needs because of your ADHD. Let's see. How long have you been a principal at high schools for? I was a principal at a high school for 4 years and an administrator at other high schools for longer than that. By Pilot, I still have that mug on my desk. Yep, you won a mug on one of the live streams. Okay, I'm going to have to switch mouse hands real quick. All right, let's see what else here. Where am I? Blot. If it's okay, I can recommend you play a game called Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, like the Disney game, I'm very familiar with it. I played it before, although just a few times. Some of the music to that show or that game is permanently stuck in my head for sure. Anna Waymeyer, I have autism/Turner syndrome too and graduated with honors as well. Good for you. Finally got disability, but it was a struggle. Got it because of my bad eyesight. Yeah. And I know getting disability benefits can be tough. R. Saravia, can you do a reaction to Jimmy Neutron? I can. It is on the list. As I've said many times before, I go down and see what's been most recommended, and then that's what I do, and then I take it off the list, so next time it's a different one that's most highly recommended. I will do it eventually. Arthur and Gumball, Bluey fan, asks about Arthur and Gumball. They're both good shows. I've done some Gumball on the channel. I plan to do some more at some point. I just need to become a full-time YouTuber, right? So I'll have time to do all these different videos. But Arthur, it's definitely on my list. A lot of people ask for Arthur because of the educational nature of the show. It's a PBS show, along with The Magic School Bus is another big one. I do plan to do both of those. Renata Rezepa, do your colleagues know about your reactions? A few of them do. Most of them don't, again, because I just keep that very separate from the channel. Isaac, could you react to The Emperor's New School? You've asked for that a few times. I have not ignored you. It is on the list. I think I even have your name by the suggestion because you've been a subscriber for so long. Certain people, like their icon for their YouTube page or their YouTube account, I recognize it from like the early days of this channel, and Isaac is one of those. Everybody Hates Chris, Victim of Fate. That is... I don't know if I'll do it or not. I did write it down, I think. As long as the content's clean, I could possibly do it. Okay. Give me just a minute here. I saw something else pop up. Peter Pie. Once again, I think this is the second or third time they've done this. They just sent 5 gifting of memberships, which is always very exciting because... it's random the way YouTube does it. And I think you get a hall pass is what you do. That sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? Oh, they gave you a hall pass as if you're in school. So the recipients of those hall pass memberships are Walrus, Game Bouncer, Wincho, and Chaeyong Signal. Was that it? I thought there were 5. And then Lane Shoes Cardboard, also hall pass membership. So you get a few things with Hall Pass. You get the Discord, and sometimes some of my members-only videos are everybody, including Hall Pass, but a lot of them you have to be honor roll or higher, which you can always upgrade to that at a cheaper price now that you've got a free Hall Pass. That's pretty cool. Peter Pie, I definitely appreciate the support. I thank you very much, and I know the people who just got memberships, thank you. All right. I am way behind on these. I might have to just skip a whole bunch of them. Let me just at least try to hit the channel members, and any of them I can get to, okay? And then if I have extra time, I'll scroll back up. By Pilot, as for food, I can't go wrong with sushi. I like sushi. I don't like the uncooked kind. I'm not quite that much of a connoisseur. By Pilot, what would your rank Brandon on from school. Oh, rank myself. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I'm a little hard on myself anyway. Anna Waymeyer, season 3 of Spy Family is coming out in October. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, and I may do Spy Family again. I've done, I think, either 1 or 2 episodes of it, of Spy Family. It was pretty good. Emery, I'm a channel member and would like to hear new tunes from the piano. Maybe something with SpongeBob, example, the Band Geeks outro. Oh, that's a good idea. So if you're not aware, in the early days of the channel, I did all these kind of random piano things, just me playing around on the piano, filming it, video game themes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm happy to do that, Emery. Sword Reincarnation. Why did you stop reacting to Danny Phantom? Did I do a Danny Phantom? Or maybe like one? I thought it was Kim Possible that I did. I don't think I did a Danny Phantom, did I? Lane Choose Cardboard. You were saying that college isn't for everyone. Yeah, it's not. It depends on what it is. When I was in high school, they made it seem like everybody had to go to college, and if you didn't go to college, you were a loser. Not the case. That's not the case at all. And now that kind of culture just isn't present as much anymore. Okay. Let's see. I'm really, really, really behind on these messages, so I'll just do the best I can. Okay. I'm reading. Nintendrovert, he says he'd love for me to react to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, in fact, Teacher's Pet level member Akaimani Burrell has recommended that one. There's a couple of episodes that I'm working on for him. I'm surprised he's not here, honestly. He may pop in, Teacher's Pet level member. Let's see. And I'm sorry again if I don't read your message. Stephen Turquoise, channel member. I just finished at my school job. It's been going good these past 11 days. I'm happy to hear that. Brian Nussbaum, would you react to the Magic School Bus? Most definitely I would. I plan on it. Game Bouncer, do you see more girls than boys succeed in school or at least have more college aspirations? I don't know. I'd have to see some data on that. Girls and boys are different in different ways, obviously, in the way that their academic habits sometimes are. Keywords sometimes. It's not automatic. It's more complicated than that. Let's see. Neko Bro, since you've been watching My Little Pony, who's your favorite pony so far? I think I like Twilight Sparkle, and I may be biased because she's sort of the principal, if you want to call it that. So I'm probably biased on that. Emery, channel member, do you remember the bottle flip? Oh, I remember the bottle flip. In, I think it was 2016 or 2017, when I was an assistant principal, I was at lunch duty. You have to do lunch duty a lot, which is when you just stand there in the cafeteria and stare at the lunchroom and make sure nothing bad happens. One day, and this was again 2016, 2017, some kids started like flipping bottles. And I'm like, what are they doing? That looks so weird. And I didn't know what they were doing. And I had to ask someone, and they explained to me that it was a social media trend that you take, half a bottle of water and you flip it and you try to make it land right on the bottom of the bottle. So I do remember that vividly because I'd never seen it before, and it just sort of happened one day. And then before I knew it, everybody was doing it. Okay, Isaac Bluestone. There are thousands of cartoons you need to watch. Yeah, that's the problem. I publish on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm working on trying to do some YouTube reactions where it's easier to edit, and I can do more of those during the week. I just finished one today. It hasn't been published yet, but there's just not the time. So I just do the best I can to go through all the different suggestions. Zach Flakerton, do you follow any professional sports? I don't really. I'm not anti-sports at all. I just don't really watch it. Let's see. Don't tell me my mouse disconnected, but the laptop one's still working. All right. Yes, Emery, I definitely remember the bottle flip. Scrolling down. Sulu Destruct, love the videos. I appreciate it. By Pilot, Anna Waymeyer, Team Autism Honors. Yeah, that works. All right. Once again, Peter Pie, thanks for the channel memberships, the gifting. He says, YouTube's favorite principal. Let's enroll 5 more students to this marvelous educational facility. I like that. Nintendrovert. Kingdom Hearts music is composed by Yoko Shimomura, who also did the music from the Mario and Luigi RPG, Xenoblade, Street Fighter. Her music is all amazing. Yep. SA783, what made you inspired to do YouTube reactions? I've told the story many times before, but I'll give you the short version. So during the pandemic, I was looking up reaction videos. I followed doctors, lawyers, pilots that did that, and I searched for principal reacts to whatever, and it didn't exist. So that's where I got the idea, and then a couple years later, I started the channel. Lucas Gladheart. Hello, Brandon. Nice to see you're doing a Q&A. And let's see. Walrus, new channel member. Very kind to gift memberships, Peter. I know they appreciate it. Brandon Clardy. Brandon, did you see the video of the principal taking the phone for the entire year? I did not. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Can you take phones? Yes. Can you keep them all year? I guess theoretically, if it was the school board's policy, the written policy that you do that, you could. I've never seen it before. I've never seen that before. You have to give it back at some point, and it's usually a fairly short amount of time. Let's see. And I saw Robert Jones purchased an honor roll membership. Thank you very much, Robert Jones. You now have access to a ton of members-only content that I made over the last year or so, as well as all of the videos early. Every Sunday morning, you'll get the Tuesday publish, the Friday video, and the Saturday video. And then some of them are members-only, and sometimes I do members-only live streams like I did Monday night. So thank you for being an honor roll level member. All right. And I'm sorry if I skip your message. Naughty Goat. Have you ever had or encountered a student who went on to be famous or infamous? I know I have. I just can't think of it right now. If they're infamous, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. If they were famous, I know there's a couple of examples. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I have known a lot of students to go on and do some really great things. Okay, let's see. Midnight Kitten, channel member. There's a local store here called Tesco's that I had a rather nice vegan sushi that I enjoy. Okay. Lane Shoes Cardboard, your Minute Waltz video was really good. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. I have a video of myself playing the Minute Waltz. Larry Jester, hope all is well. Weird question. What would be your last meal if you got to choose? I don't know. That's a crazy question. I mentioned the buffalo pizza, a buffalo chicken pizza earlier. That would be a nice choice, I guess. Joseph Berner, can I get a full shout out, please? I don't know what a full shout out is, but Joseph Berner, consider this a shout out for you. By Pilot, Principal Brandon's beautiful piano time. He's referring to the different piano videos. Hensel Holtz, if they made a movie about you, who would you cast to play yourself? Well, what immediately jumps out is Tom Segura. Some of you may remember a community post where I post a picture of me and a picture of him, and some people were like, I thought it was the same person at first. Ashton Gillen, Brandon, you should play Five Nights at Freddy's just to let you know the game has jump scares, which is okay as long as it's clean. I may look at doing that. Salty06, even if there was a stigma if you went to community college instead of university, you were considered stupid. Yeah, there is that. There is that. I did work at a school that was very high performing. I've worked at high performing schools and low performing schools over my career. The high performing schools, it was a little bit like that. It was a great school. The students were very smart, but sometimes they had this culture of, I'm going to the University of Georgia. You're only going to this other school, and I'm better than you because of it. Or you're going to UGA, but I'm going to Yale. We had students going to Ivy League schools. So, you're only going to UGA, so I'm better than you because I'm going to Harvard or something like that, or one of the Ivy League schools, or Princeton or whatever. It's not good. And again, college isn't for everyone. What's important is that you get the education that's required to achieve your goals. That's all that matters. Lucas Gladhart, have you considered any more YouTube channel related content? If you mean YouTube videos, I'm going to start doing that because it requires far less editing and I can just get them out quicker. I just finished one. It was something the Discord members recommended on a recent, I think it was from a week ago. A teacher responded to questions from the internet for Wired magazine. I'm about 2/3 of the way into that one. Emery says he can play by ear, and that is awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comment. Zach Flakerton, do you keep up with current events and politics? I very much do. I think that's a very smart thing to do, although there is a lot of angst about it and getting frustrated. I generally don't talk about it on the channel, though. Game Bouncer, did your school ban fidget spinners? No, actually, we sort of encouraged it. I mean, if you're throwing it across the room, that's a little different. But around the time that the bottle flipping became popular, I started seeing the fidget spinners as well. They're good for many people. Let's see. Lane Shoes Cardboard. I'm sure he does privately, but he did a video on a Trump speech about the DOE. Yeah, and you can watch that. But even in that video where the thumbnail is like me freaking out because he's closing the Department of Education, I didn't even get political on that video. If you've seen it, my purpose was to talk about what he actually said and some things about the Department of Education, what that might mean if it were closed for good. I didn't really talk about what I thought about it, whether it was good or bad, but I did explain it. Michael Larson, I hope you're doing well too. Undertaker lover, how's it going? He says, yo. Anna Waymeyer, channel member. I wanted to become a veterinarian, but there's no college for it near me, and I can't drive, and I don't want to lose my place. Tried online schooling, but no place would do the hands-on part. Yeah, that's one of those things where you can't do it all online because you have to, I assume it's sort of like being a regular medical doctor. You have to do procedures with your hands, so you can't do that online. Mark Page, I subscribed a while ago to all notifications. I appreciate it. By Pilot, 2016 being almost a decade ago. It does not seem like it, but it's true. Originella, hi Brandon, good to see you live streaming. Good to see you as well. I appreciate all your different comments on my videos. Slicey Slicer says hello. Shaggy Rogers, I never got to see your SpongeBob movie reaction before they took it down. What did you think of the movie? It was pretty good. It was pretty funny, I have to say. Oh man, the song, Now That We're Men. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, now that we're men. That's so good. Da-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. It's just so good. So good. And it gets in your head. It so does. J.E., when did you get a YouTube plaque? You should do an unboxing video. It wasn't a plaque exactly, and the chat just jumped down, so I have to scroll way up. Oh, Broken Dreams donated $1.99. I do appreciate it very much. Broken Dreams says, would you react to Freaks and Geeks? I don't know what it is, so I can't really say whether or not I would react to it. When people suggest things that I don't know what it is, I do a little bit of research, because in the old days of this channel, the early days, I would start a video, and then halfway through the video, I would discover I can't do this. I don't feel comfortable doing this. But now I won't watch it, but I'll watch little parts of it, or I'll ask some of the channel members on the Discord whether it's okay to do, whether they think it's okay to do. So as long as it's clean, I can do it. So going back to where I was, what I thought about the SpongeBob movie, it was good. It was funny. And again, I liked the song. Oh yeah, J.E. asked about the plaque. It's not a plaque. There's this thing on YouTube called Partner Perks where I don't even know what the eligibility is, but they invited me to it and they sent me this little clapper board like you see in movies. I thought that was pretty cool. I did put it on my shelf. So at some point in probably like September or October, you'll see a video where you'll see that on the shelf. Great teacher Onizuka. I want to say that I looked at that and there was something about it that made me a little uncomfortable about the content, but I don't remember. But I will check it out. By Pilot, 2020, Brandon found no principal react, so he eventually said, fine, I'll do it myself. That's exactly what happened, actually. Undertaker Lover, is it easy being a principal? No, it is not. It is not. If you're the principal, you are responsible for every single thing, good, bad, or ugly, that happens in that school. Even if something goes wrong and it wasn't your fault and it had nothing to do with it, you're responsible. It may not be your fault per se, but you're responsible for it. So it is very difficult. Emery, disclaimer, did your school have any incidents about school shooters or any lockdown drills? If there were a serious incident, I would not be able to talk about it. Did we have lockdown drills? Yes, because every school does now. The unfortunate reality, and it is unfortunate, I'll be the first to tell you it's unfortunate. We don't like it. Nobody likes to do lockdown drills, but it is necessary because there are very evil people in the world that want to do harm. So we kind of have to do that. But the answer is yes to the drills. Isaac says, Isaac Agunmuko, and I'm sorry if I messed up your name. I'll just say Isaac. Long-time channel viewer. After Ned's, can you make a potential firing video, potential suspension video, potential expulsion video, potential detention, or a video with all the potentials? I would love to. I want to. I just have to figure out how to, because you have to find every one of those in all of my 90-something videos of Ned's and pick those out. I can't imagine how time-consuming that would be. So if anybody wants to help me with that, please let me know, and I'd be happy to do that. But it's going to take a long time. I may have to hire some editors to do that for me. Originella, too bad the Breakfast Club is rated R. Yeah, anything that's rated R, I'm just not going to be able to do, okay? Victim of Fate, did you go to your high school reunion? You know, there was a period of time, and I don't mind saying this because the person responsible is not going to see this live stream. I would be willing to put money on it. I said I want to have a 20-year reunion, or no, it was like 10-year reunion or something, and I got it all together, and then someone said, oh no, the class president has to do it. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll back off. But then the class president tried to do something overly fancy, and it just all fell through. There was a problem with the venue, so we just didn't have one, unfortunately, which I didn't care where we had it. I think they were trying to get Turner Field, which is where the Atlanta Braves play. That's where we had our prom. It was pretty cool, and so they were trying to bring up some nostalgia, but it ended up falling through, and we had no reunion whatsoever, unfortunately. It's sort of sad. And I didn't care. I just wanted to see my friends. By Pilot, me watching the 10-second clip for when he reacted to Crabborg when the robots invaded his house. That was pretty funny. Emery, in Germany, we have a fire drill every school year. One a year. We have one. It's different. It's a little different in every state, but the rule in Georgia is you have to have a fire drill in the first 10 days of school by law or by regulation. You have to have another one the first 30 days of school. So you have to have two in the first month. And then you have to have one a month. You have to have one every single month no matter what, which is funny. The running joke is like most schools are made of like cinder blocks and bricks. You can't burn cinder blocks, but I get it. You know, I think fire safety is extremely important. Don't get me wrong. You can also, twice a year, they let you, for like hurricane season, you can do a severe weather drill in place of a fire drill. So yes, you do at least one a month, and you do two right at the beginning. Let's see. Game Bouncer. Can you play the piano blindfolded? I probably can. I've never tried it. I probably can because a lot of it is kind of muscle memory. You get so used to where the keys are. Yep says, where are these chats he's reading? They're way up at the top because I can't keep up. There are 70 of us in the room right now. But I'm doing the best I can. H. Crayert, channel member and native Spanish speaker. Siempre me gusta verte porque yo sé que vas a hablarme cuando hablo español. He says, what would your advice be for someone whose passion is not a reliable career and lacks any other interest or skill? That's where the school counselors come in. Part of their job, and Ricky Rax can back me up on this, is to expose students to their options and to help them make a plan, whether that's employment, if they just want to go get a job of their choosing, helping them get hooked up with an employer, or technical school or college, or the military. We also talk about that with students. So it's something we work on very hard, is to make sure everybody has a plan for after high school. Anna Waymeyer, the Flea Waltz is my favorite. Pokemon made a fun music video to it. Emery, interesting. We only had it one time a year. Yeah, there's multiple fire drills. By Pilot, I'm in a community college because it worked closely with my high school. I'm planning a transfer, and there's nothing in the world wrong with that. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up, and the only way I can catch up is to skip messages. So I apologize. BT, is this live stream going to be saved? It will be saved. Usually what happens is it takes like half a day sometimes for it to upload, but it will post and you can rewatch it if you want. Larry Jester, his last meal. I see that. Sorry, I can't read it all. Okay, hold on. Mark, I think your name is just Mark, and that's it. Welcome to Honor Roll. Thank you for purchasing an Honor Roll membership. I do appreciate that. And just now, Sad HBH Core donated 10 euros. I really appreciate it. I don't know where you're from, but obviously not from the US. I really appreciate all of my international viewers. Sometimes their perspective is the most interesting because they'll tell me, you know, this is how you do it in Sweden, or this is how we do it in Germany, or this is how we do it in the UK. Extremely interesting. I love that. Sad HBD Core says, please react to school episodes of Young Sheldon and Bluey. Again, as long as it's clean, I can do it. I want to say there may have been some issues with Young Sheldon, but if it's a clean episode, I may be able to do it. Thank you so much for the contribution. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support of the channel. All right, I'm going to have to focus on some of these and move on. I'm going to have to skip some chats. I'm sorry. Emery, I don't know if that episode is inappropriate, but could you react to The Office Scott's Tots? Scott's Tots. So I happen to be an Office fan, which means that I could react to it, but I've seen every single episode multiple times. Scott's Tots sort of makes you feel bad watching it, but it is a school, it is in the school. So I may do that, honestly. People might enjoy that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I cringe every time I watch it because of what Michael does in that episode. All right. Let's see. Sorry if I skip your message. I've got to catch up a little bit. The Business House, channel member. Nice to see you. You're a new channel member. Thank you for joining. Let's see. And where channel members, you all are talking to each other in some of these cases, so that's why I'm not reading some of them. Originella says, some genius in my junior year decided it was a brilliant idea to get some garbage cans in one of the boys' bathrooms on fire. Yeah. So, senior pranks. Senior pranks can stop you from graduating or from at least doing graduation. There have been a couple of times in my career where senior pranks went too far, and they led to kids not doing the graduation ceremony. They still got their diploma because they earned it, but the schools can absolutely and will stop you from walking, they say. They didn't walk, meaning they didn't walk across the stage at graduation. I've seen that done a few times. One school I was at, what got them kicked out was, most of the time it's vandalism, right? So I've had it where people will TP the school and then they'll go back and clean it up at a later time, and it's just a lot of good fun and it doesn't hurt anything. Well, one year, some kids went into some bathrooms, and like it was a school that was kind of out in the country, so they got they got some chickens, some live chickens, and put them in the bathrooms, and they also put like deer urine, if you know what that is, that's sold for like hunters, and put it all over the place, and you know, it was really disgusting. And they defaced the walls in ways that you couldn't really undo that. And they ended up basically damaging the school. It went a little bit further than a prank, and so they were not allowed to walk across the stage because of that. What I thought was funny is the chickens, they almost like were roosting in there, because it's like they tried to make a little nest in the commode. It was kind of funny. But yeah, senior pranks can be really serious. By pilot, Brandon has 2 or 3 classes worth of people in here. True. Scrolling down. Sorry if I skip your message. I kind of have to at this point. Okay. Undertaker Lover, do you know sign language? I do not know sign language. That would be really cool, though. Let's see. Joseph Roth, can you react to My Little Pony Equestria girls? I do plan to, because I understand they're in school. They're human teenagers. I do plan to do that. Sandy's Rocket, a lot of people have recommended that. That's coming up on the list. Mikey Arriaga, I will do that one. Mary Robert, you should react to the Flintstones Kids episode where Fred has a crush on his teacher. That's never been recommended, but I could check it out. Yeah, sad HBD, Young Sheldon is PG-13. So I'll have to check it out and see if it's feasible or not. If there's a specific episode you want me to take a look at that is clean, I may be able to do that. Thanks again for the contribution. I really appreciate your support. Hold on just a minute. Kelly RPG, cheers from Italy. I love all my international viewers. Thank you for tuning in. And thanks for the compliment. It says, I like your channel, good sir. Lane Chews Cardboard. Brandon would have fired Gordy on day 1 of his tenure. Yeah, he just tends to get in trouble. Tribal Chief, would you consider making a Discord server in the future? I would. There actually was a public Discord server that got trolled, and so I had to I didn't have to, but I made the decision to shut that down, and we have the members only server that has a lot more security in place. Joseph Roth, I've never done a senior prank, and I'm glad I never did one. Yeah, it can keep you from graduating or doing the ceremony. By pilot, I have to save one of my friends. He was a few minutes from not walking. Yeah, that's very good of you then. Let's see. The Business House donated £1. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support of the channel. I really, really appreciate it. The Business House, new channel member. Let's see. Bear with me here. Okay, Sam Cook. How does someone end up deciding to become a principal? Like a lot of kids grow up wanting to be teachers, but how do people end up deciding that they want to become administrators? Usually it's at some point in their teaching career. That's the way it was with me. So you can't like just become a principal from nothing, right? You need some experience teaching. The typical route is to become an assistant principal or vice principal after that, and then a principal after that. So you don't just become a principal. There's steps to it. There's a natural progression, and I think for most teachers, they want to move up into leadership. They want to be able to make the decisions so that they can help people. HBD Core again with 10 euros. Thank you very much once again. I really appreciate it. They say the pilot episode of Young Sheldon is friendly enough. Good to know. I will check it out. Also, Bluey is one of the cartoons among viewers of all ages. And with Young Sheldon, I think what happened with that is somebody earlier in the channel's history, they recommended a particular episode that they wanted. I don't remember which one it was. And when I went to kind of preview that episode just to make sure it was clean, it was not clean. And so I'm like, well, I guess I can't do Young Sheldon. But if there's an episode that's really clean and there's nothing wrong with it, I'd be happy to take a look at it. Thanks again for the support. I really appreciate the support of the channel with the £10 donation 2 times. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Hector Evilman. Out of all the teachers you watched in the shows, which do you think is the best and which is the worst? Wow. Teachers. So the qualifier is teachers. The worst is probably Mr. Howard from iCarly. He says he hates children. He literally said that. And then he put them all in detention and went and watched the Geometry Channel. He was horrible. He's probably the worst teacher. The best as far as teachers go, it's got to be Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright is really good as far as the teachers go. And maybe Miss Honey from Matilda. She was pretty good as well. All right. Anna Waymeyer. The chickens would have been funny. The other stuff, not so much. Angelique Backer. Someone in my school pulled the fire alarm during the MCAS. And I'm not sure about what the MCAS is. But that sounds like a standardized test. That would be a very big deal. Let's see. Scrolling down. Sorry, I will catch up. Makarov, any MLP episodes coming up? I did film a reaction the other day to A Matter of Principles, which was pretty good, where Twilight Sparkle leaves the school to go off on some quest and leaves Starlight in charge. And then Discord, the character, comes in, voiced by John Delancey, who I know from Star Trek, and his character on My Little Pony is just like him. So that's the one that'll be coming out probably in a month or two. Josh Lopez. Hi, Principal Brandon. You're my favorite YouTuber. I watch your SpongeBob reactions, and it helps with my depression, and this is my first time seeing you live. That is really special to me. There are a lot of people on the channel that have commented that my videos help them, or they're soothing, or they just enjoy watching them because it helps them with different things. That has been one of the most rewarding parts of being a YouTuber. So I really appreciate it and wanted to make sure, Josh, that I gave you a shout out. Anna Waymeyer, a member for 10 months on a roll. I'm assuming that means you extended your membership. Anna, thank you so much. You have also been a very long-standing member of the channel, especially in the early days. I think you were one of the first channel members and first people to really just engage with the channel. Anna says, thank you again for doing Max Keeble's big move. I'm excited for you to do Recess Schools Out. You've been asking for that for a while. I promise I will get to it. SpongeBob's One Crab's Trash. I did see that you mentioned that again yesterday. It is coming up on the list. Rugrats, Little Dude Someday. It's on the list too. Not quite as high, but it is on the list. Thank you for extending your membership. I do appreciate the support, Anna. Okay. Trying to catch up here. There's Sad HBD. Once again, thanks for your support. I do appreciate it. Both of your €10 donations to the channel. Makarov, will you react to Saved by the Bell episodes, the original one, not the remake? I do plan to. I thought it was funny that Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell, the original, played a small little cameo role in Max Keeble's Big Move. He was the band director during one of the scenes. I did like that, but I do plan to do that. Hensel Holtz, I suggest you react to the SpongeBob episodes House Fancy and The Splinter. I don't know what it is, but I know enough from your comments to know that it is really, really, really disgusting. Some people have told me, hey, don't watch The Splinter, which of course makes me want to watch The Splinter. I may do that. I tend to get really grossed out by stuff easily, so I don't know what's going to happen when I eventually do that. All right. Alan Stamper, what are your thoughts on Hey Arnold? I like the show. Overnight Ascension. Brandon, since you do school-related content, does anime count as long as it's clean, as you mentioned there? I do have an anime playlist. I did some Yu Yu Hakusho. I did a Naruto. Some of them are channel member only, though. What else did I do? Spy Family. They just haven't done as well on this channel. The people who like it get really, really excited about it, and then I put it out, and then it doesn't get views. So I sort of have to be selective on that. Anna, once again, thanks for your continued membership. Hensel Holt says Young Sheldon is anything but clean, and that's sort of why I haven't done it. I would be willing to take a look at it. I was told a moment ago to take a look at the pilot. I can do that. Lane Choose Cardboard. I know you were a band director, band teacher once, and my high school band teacher has unfortunately been suspended for personal reasons I don't want to share. Yeah, there's a code of ethics for educators that is very, very strict, and you can't break it. If you do, you will be let go. Larry Jester, have you considered a potential firing suspension tier list, just random staff and students to see where they rank? A potential firing tier list? I have considered a staff tier list or a teacher tier list. That's definitely on my list to do. Stephen Turquoise, I just finished my Chick-fil-A and now on my way to bowling. Well, you have fun, my man. Let's see. Business House channel member. What's your opinion on SpongeBob and the Sandy Cheeks relationship and their friendship and the SpongeBob SquarePants show? They have a really good relationship. Sandy and SpongeBob are my favorite characters because they're both very, very positive. And I see Sad HBD Core again with €5 a donation. They say, watch the Bluey School episodes. It's so cute. Let me take that down right now. Why don't I? So just so you know, I have, I'm going to take this down. I'm going to do it right here in front of you. HBH Core Bluey School. All right. I will check it out. And thank you once again for the €5 donation. And the 10 and the other 10 for a total of £25 or euros. I'm sorry. That other person was in pounds. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will take a look at that. Okay. Where did I leave off? H. Crayert, Young Sheldon antagonizes religious people and has reference. Yeah. I mean, if that's true, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I will at least check to see if it's possible or not. ANX says, don't be fooled. This isn't a live stream. We're actually in the principal's office about to get in trouble. And that's, I never liked that stigma where if you're called to the principal's office, it's always trouble. I talked about this in my reaction video to Phase Rug, where he's principal for a day. I used to call students. I would call them to my office, either to give them something positive or just because I needed to ask them a question about something random. But it was important that I see them immediately. I would get on the phone and I would try to remember to say to the teacher who picked up and would have to tell the student to come to my office, I would say, tell them they're not in any trouble. Because some students, if I didn't say that, they would almost have a panic attack on the way to the office. So I would say, please tell Bobby they're not in any trouble. Just, I need to ask him a question. Let's see. Bye, Pilot. I enjoy watching your videos. I enjoy talking to you in these live streams. I enjoy it as well. Coral M, have you had any criticism in real life about your videos? I have not, for two reasons. Number one, I don't really talk about it. So when I'm at work, when I'm at school, I'm there to work. That's what I'm there for. I'm not there to talk about YouTube. I'm there to work and get all of this experience that I use to comment on videos outside of work. And number two, my videos are extremely clean, and I do that for a reason. I see, let's see, Anthony with the $4.99 donation. I really appreciate that. Anthony says that I should check out Malcolm in the Middle, Season 2, Episode 19. And just because it's faster, I'm going to take a photo of your comment and look at it later. He says, I think it's clean in the early seasons were TV PG, but later seasons TV 14. Well, as long as it's clean, I will do it. All right. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping your message. It's just getting too much. There's so many good comments. If you all don't mind, I'll go back a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit, so I can make sure that I'll get to your comment. Lane Choose Cardboard. I just had my 1-year anniversary of being subscribed last week, and I do appreciate it, and so glad you got a little free Hall Pass membership a minute ago, and you've always been a mod for a while. I do appreciate your support. Very active on the channel. Yeah, please don't spam the same messages over and over. It's not going to help. Makarov, fun fact, Starlight and Discord were former villains, but Discord is still a jerk. He was a very big jerk in that episode. He's sort of making me mad, even though it wasn't real. By Pilot, our principal will watch The Splinter. Eventually, maybe, if I get into it, Angelique Backer, and I feel like it's too bad, then I won't, but I'll at least take a look at it. Let's see. Anna Waymeyer, we definitely need more Hey Arnold 2. The episode Helga is on the couch is a must. A lot of people have recommended that, and that may be the next one that I do when I do another Hey Arnold. Let's see. Scrolling down. Isaac says, if you were the James K. Polk Middle School principal, would you fire the staff that have potential firings? Most of them. Sometimes I'll tell you in the video, like, this is a potential firing because they could be fired. But sometimes it would be more like you get some other disciplinary action, but not a firing. Like, you might have a conversation with the principal that they then document in your file, or it might affect your evaluation, or you might get bad ratings, but you're not fired. So some of them, it might be a conversation, like, let's talk about this and let's put you on a professional development plan or an improvement plan, but not necessarily a firing. SA786, would you react to any history-related videos of school? Yeah, I would. You jogged my memory. One reaction or one idea I had recently was there are training videos for teachers that I found online from like the 40s and 50s, and some things are all right and some things are like they really told people to do that. That would be kind of interesting. By Pilot, Sandy and SpongeBob are tighter than two catfish in a skillet. They are good friends, aren't they? Anna Waymeyer, my stepdad used to have a blue heeler dog named Dottie. She was the best. Such a great breed of dog. Strolling with Jordan. When I was in high school, every month in third period, a student would pull the fire alarm. See, nowadays there's cameras. I don't know when you were in high school, but there's cameras and you can see exactly who did it. Most of the fire alarms, most every square inch of schools nowadays are covered by cameras. Everything except for the bathrooms. So you're not going to be able to get away with it. By Pilot, we were all in the principal's office because someone brought a pie bomb that blew up the city. You're talking about whatever that one is, where they have the pie bomb with the ghost pirate, the Flying Dutchman. Thomas T-Bone from Georgia. Follow-up question. I had a good day. Follow-up question. Are you going to watch football this weekend? I don't really watch football. I'm not against it. I just don't follow it. Sketchbook. More Hey Arnold and Fillmore eventually. Yes, eventually I plan to. I don't think I've taken a look at Fillmore yet. Toontail Official. Please react to Lizzie McGuire. I'll do it if it gets recommended enough. Danny Garcia 14MC channel member. Hi Brandon, have you ever experienced any food fights at high school? And you served as principal before. I once got hurt when trying to escape in a cafeteria during one back in middle school. I've never experienced a food fight, and they happen all the time in movies and TV, but they almost never happen in real life. What I have seen, there was one school that I worked at where people would throw stuff. But you have to think, imagine you're in a school cafeteria and someone throws something. The reaction of most people is, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to go walk over here and stay away from it. But I would have people that would throw stuff sometimes, but not a full-blown food fight. Let's see. Let's see. It skipped down. Bear with me for just a minute. Emery, are you a father? I hope it's not disrespectful. No, I do have a family. I joke with them sometimes. Like one day when I get really big, I'll do a reveal. But yes. Sad HBH, thanks once again. What subjects did you teach before you became a principal? I was a music teacher. I taught instrumental music for 8 or 9 years, or like 8.5 years. I taught instrumental music. I also was a math teacher once. My very first job, I taught math part-time. Donald Woods, channel member. Hello. Ashton Gillen, what did you think of the vampire at the end of SpongeBob episode Graveyard Shift? That was another good one. I did not particularly like the vampire at the end, but I did like the episode. Nick Ronca, wait, did he react to MLP, A Matter of Principles? I did just the other day, but it's not published yet. It'll be a while before it publishes. It's not even edited yet. Sad HBH Core, can you react to the Harry Potter movies? The early movies that are okay for kids. That's been suggested a lot. If I do that, I may react to like just the school parts. I think would be pretty good. Let's see. Sketchbook. Will you do another long-running series like Ned's and SpongeBob? Hey Arnold is a good option. Yeah, I do want to. I guess we have. My hand's getting tired. We have until December to figure that out. Toontail Official, would you react to music videos? Sure. Brett Reply, Tiply, my school had fire drills every few months. In Georgia, you have to do it once a month, and there's no exceptions except for if you do like a tornado or severe weather drill, they call them, then you don't have to do a fire drill. That's where you get out in the hall and you cover your head. That's what that's about. Lane Shoes Cardboard. Remember when Carly threw her banana at the fire alarm? I do remember that. Dying for Pie was the name of the episode. Thank you. Let's see. Scrolling down. Anthony, Discord's voice actor is Q from Star Trek, and they had the same powers. Yeah, basically, John Delancey. I thought it was funny that his character in My Little Pony was sort of the same. Brett Tiply, did you ever see a fight at school? Yes, I saw many fights at school. I've broken up many fights at school. It's really horrible. Some schools that I've worked in, that almost never happened. One school that I worked at as administrator, it happened like daily, if not more than once a day. It was really awful. Not that the school as a whole was bad, but they did have a lot of people that tended to do that. So I've had to break up a lot of fights, yes. Let's see. Boy Meets World, Sketchbook 10. I have done one episode of it. It didn't get a lot of views, honestly, but I can explore doing more at a later time. Stephen Turquoise, channel member. I want you to know I'm going to do a compilation of all the cookie faces before the series ends, and I can't wait to see all the ones that I find throughout the series. Cool. People are just suggesting things. Brett reply, one student got busted for pulling a fire alarm. Yeah, that happens. And if you pull a fire alarm as a prank, that's going to come with some serious consequences because it's considered part of school safety. And if you mess with school safety, there's going to be some consequences. By Pilot, Krusty Krab training videos, my favorite episode. That one was a good one too. I forgot about that. Nintendrovert, I'm friends with the creator of viral school-related game called Baldi's Basics. You should play it. I did play it early in this channel. You can go look at it. But my computer was not the best, and it couldn't quite handle the whole streaming of the game. The two computers I have now can more than handle it. I have an Alienware and this new MacBook that I'm on right now. They can handle it just fine. By Pilot, my dad was suspended thrice for getting into fights. He never started them. Here's the thing about that. Some people would very often get into a fight, and them and the parent would come to me and they would say, why is my child suspended? Why did I get suspended? I didn't start the fight. I didn't throw the first punch. That's not always it. If you do not try to start the fight, you don't try to tell anyone, and you are willing to fight this person, you're not ambushed, you go and meet this person, you're just as guilty, even if you don't start it per se. So that's why that often happens. Salty06, with how easily a fire alarm is pulled in movies and TV, it made me afraid to even accidentally bump into one in real life. I have seen the fire alarm get bumped and get set off before. It does happen. A lot of them now have that little glass over it where you have to lift it up and then pull it, and that's why that is. How long? We've been at this for an hour and 18 minutes. I'm starting to get a little tired, but I will continue a little while longer, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. Let's see. Jordan Lassiter, with fire drills, I hated them because I'm autistic and have sensory issues. I would plug my ears when I hear the custodian's walkie-talkie. Yeah. And in fact, at one school, what I did was I would go to either the special education classroom or classrooms where I knew there were people that had those issues. And I would tell them, hey, we're about to do a fire drill. Would you guys like to go ahead and go outside before it starts? So, and they really appreciated that. They would go outside so that it wouldn't hurt their ears really badly when the fire alarm went off. Sad HBD Core. Do you work in a school that uses corporal punishment? I can't really go there. What I can tell you is I've worked in schools that have corporal punishment, and I've worked in schools that have banned it. So it's different in every state. Georgia allows it. It is legal, but different school districts decide whether or not they're going to do that. So I have definitely done that. I've not actually carried it out. I have witnessed many a paddling, as they're known, and that's a whole nother question as to whether it's, that it should be done or not. Such a turd, that's their name, 2010, $4.99 donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support of the channel. They say you should most definitely binge Community. I saw it mentioned a couple of times. After Ned's is over, it's pretty much about what would happen at Polk if it were a college. I am going to take a picture on my phone of your comment so that I can remember it for later. I will take a look at it. If it's clean, then it's likely I'll be able to do it. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. And those of you asking about specific things about my school, I'm just not going to be able to talk about that. Let's see. Emery, do you miss being a student or not? Because you're at school, but of course it's not the same as being a young lad student. Yeah, that's true. Every once in a while, I'll think, it'd be cool to go back and maybe for a day or something, be a student, knowing what I know now. But then I'm like, no, no, not that it was a terrible experience, but that means you have to like do all your work again. No, thank you. Let's see. Eric Nwachukwu. When can you get back to reacting to iCarly? There are a few episodes I want to get to. I just haven't been able to yet. So hopefully sometime soon. H. Crayert, ¿podrías reaccionar cuando termines la serie a una entrevista reciente con los tres actores principales de Ned's Declassified? Yeah, I can. Here's the thing about that, which he's acting, if I can react to an interview with the cast of Ned's. I was watching something just today that they put out, and I'm like, man, they curse a lot. That's the problem. They curse all through their videos. It's going to be too much for me to edit out. If they would stop cursing, I would do that, but they curse like all through it, and I don't understand why. Like, it's I don't like profanity, and I keep it out of my videos, so they'd have to stop that for me to do that. Okay, yet again, Sad HBD Core with a €5 donation. He says, you should definitely react to the Pixar film Monsters University. Yes, Monster University. And I'm taking a picture of this comment. Yes, it's been on my list for a while. One of the good things I like about these live streams is I get ideas from people all the time, and I can't keep them in my head. It's impossible. And so you all remind me of these things that I forgot about. So yes, Sad HBD Core, thank you for that donation. I think you're up to like 30 or 35 euros now, so I really appreciate the support. And I will come back to, when I go to plan my next content, I will come back to your comments. So Monsters University would be great. The Young Sheldon, I'll try, but there were some content issues with that. I'll look at the pilot episode as you suggested. Okay, so for H. Crayert, he asked this question in Spanish because he knows that I like to speak it and listen to it. So I will try. I would react to their the Ned's actors podcasts and interviews, but they just cuss all the time. They just cuss all through all of their interviews. So I just can't. And what do I see here? I saw something. I thought maybe not. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. The screen I'm trying to look at this on is kind of small, so hold on. Okay, got it. Nick Ronka. Thoughts on schools who punish students in a fight even if they weren't fighting back. This is a real thing some schools do, and it's called the zero tolerance. In my experience, here's what happens. So to say that you have zero tolerance for fighting, I think all schools are like that, even if they don't say it. I mean, why would you? Why would you say, we tolerate some fighting. If you want to fight, it's not real bad, we'll just let you fight. I mean, obviously you can't do that, right? So you have to have zero tolerance for it. Here's what happens. In my personal experience, if a fight happens, there's an investigation that's going to happen. And the way I would do it is I would tell both parties. Like, a lot of times these things happen at inconvenient times, or at the end of the day is another big one. And I would sit them down and say, look, in this moment, I don't know whose fault it is. It's impossible to know. Like, you're telling me one thing, you're telling me another thing. I'm going to have to investigate. I'm going to have to look at camera footage. I'm going to have to talk to witnesses. I'm going to have to talk to teachers that were around. I can't decide who's right and who's wrong, and if you're both wrong. So I typically, at least temporarily, from a safety standpoint, send them both home. And then an investigation happens right then, or the very next morning if it's after hours. So you look at camera footage, you talk to witnesses, you talk to the students who were in the fight, you talk to the students who were around the fight, you talk to teachers who may have been around. And through putting all that together, you get a pretty good picture of what happened. Probably 90% of the time, both people are at fault. Even if one person, quote, swung first, the other person, more often than not, was perfectly willing to fight. Now, if somebody ambushes someone else, that's different. So every once in a while, you'll have a situation where they're not trying to fight, they're just trying to get away, they're backing off, or they just get the person off of them and then go about their way. And at least how I did it, those people were not punished. So in the scenario where I sent them both home, I would call the one back and say, hey, I see that you're innocent, please come on back to school tomorrow. You won't be punished or anything like that. And then the person whose fault that it was gets a pretty hefty punishment. So that's typically what I would do. Scrolling on down. Thanks again, Sad HBD Core. Really appreciate your support on this live stream. Angelique Backer says, I wish I could speak Spanish. And Sketchbook, yes, I speak Spanish as a second language. Angelique says, I speak French, but Spanish is more useful here, and I don't know where you're from. Je ne parle français. Je parle anglais, espagnol. That's about the extent of my French. Not too much. Land Shoes Cardboard says he has the same phone case as me. A lot of people, I'm seeing those more and more. Scrolling down. Anna Waymeyer, Monsters University is pretty good. Would be an interesting reaction. It's a prequel, though, so you don't necessarily have to watch Monsters, Inc. first. And I think I've seen both of them, but it's been so long, I don't really remember anything about it except what the characters look like. Mike Wazowski, I think. What about High School Musical? It's on my list. Not a lot of people request it, but it's on my list. Salty, in the Ned's Rewatch podcast, they just tell stories that are gross and vulgar. Yeah, that's why I can't do it. If they would clean up their act and stop that, I would definitely take a look at it. Sketchbook, are there any day-in-the-life videos of principals online you could react to? Sure. Why don't you send them to me or put them in the comments, a link to the YouTube video, and I'll take a look. Nick Ronka, that's how it should be, not just, oh, someone was fighting you. I don't care if you didn't fight back. You're still in trouble for being in a fight. Yeah. So like I said, it has to be zero tolerance, because what are you going to do, tolerate it? But you have to investigate. You have to be willing to make time to investigate those. Sometimes I would do it. If I was busy, I would have another administrator do it, but it would be investigated. In Venture, did your school make lockers mandatory? It's actually the opposite. A lot of schools now, even if they have lockers, they don't use them for safety reasons. Some do, some don't. The ones that don't, they're afraid, I think, of kids putting stuff in there and keeping stuff or hiding things they're not supposed to have. And again, I'm going to have to stop in just a minute. Thank you for the comments on the French. That's all the French I know. I know more Mandarin and German. I know some German. I know some Mandarin. And I'm fluent in Spanish. The other ones are just basic. Basic Mandarin, basic German, but fluent Spanish. Let's see. Have you ever dealt with a racist teacher? Yeah, I have. And it's not tolerated. You can't discriminate for obvious reasons. You can't. That's going to get you in some ethical trouble if you try to do that. Gold05, how is my favorite YouTuber? If you mean me, I'm doing okay. I appreciate it. I have not seen Hoosiers, Brett. I know that Hoosiers are people from Indiana. Sorry if I skip your message. Lane Shoes Cardboard, have you ever had a teacher like Miss Ackerman who has come to school and cried on her desk and screamed at students? I've had lesser versions of that. I've had people who, it wasn't that their boyfriend broke up with them like Miss Ackerman. It was like they had a death in the family. or something else traumatic. And I think in one or two cases I had to say, look, just go home. Like, I'm not as a punishment, but like, go home, take care of yourself. I'll give you the time off or whatever. Just go home, get yourself together, and then come back. Let's see. Just going through. H. Crayert, I'm learning Japanese. Language learning is not difficult per se. It just takes a lot of time. I think it is difficult, and it does take a lot of time as well. When I started learning Mandarin, which I speak a basic level of, I decided between Korean, Japanese, and Mandarin. And I chose Mandarin because the grammar is way easier than Japanese, but the pronunciation is way harder. Okay. Leon Corgi, will you please do more Avatar episodes? Yeah, and the one you mentioned in your comment, Teacher's Pet level member, Kaimani Burrell has recommended that one to me. Gold05, you're my favorite YouTuber. I appreciate that sincerely. Emery, we've never had lockers in German schools. We just carried heavy bags full of books, which was unhealthy. Yeah, that's a little tough. Roy Garcia, have you ever heard of the movie The Iron Giant? I've heard of it. I've seen it. It's very sad. It's a good movie, but it's a sad movie too. Iron Giant. Let's see. Bear with me here. Finally, almost caught up. Brett reply, I would recommend Billy Madison. Billy Madison, if you go to my channel's page and you click on oldest video, it's going to come up very early on. I think it was the second video I ever did. Napoleon Dynamite is currently blocked. That's the first one I ever did. I've considered redoing that episode because, as you will see, I wasn't as good at reaction videos at that time. Let's see. Jolt Jackalope, you are one of my favorite reaction YouTubers. I really appreciate it. Alan Stamper, Miss Ackerman should not have brought personal issues to school. That's true, but I mean, we are human beings. You just need to, take a day off, take care of yourself. That's what personal days are for. And your principal is going to be understanding of that. They would rather you take care of yourself, come back strong, than have to go through all that. Leon Corgi, I once had 4 different science teachers and 4 science teachers in 8th grade because the first 3 quit. Not quite. I've never had that happen. I have had people quit in the middle of the year, but not like 3 in a row like that. Let's see. Roger Zachary, isn't there protected time off for death in the family? Yes, they call that bereavement leave. The policy on that's a little bit different. If you have a death in the family, if it's a close relative, it can't be like your 4th cousin or whatever. But each school district defines what a close relative is and defines how many days you get and whether or not it's deducted from your sick leave. But yes, you will get time off. Emery, Japanese is easier for me to learn because I speak natively Turkish. The grammar is similar to Japanese. And Emery, while I was in Berlin in 2018, I did notice certain parts of Berlin were heavily Turkish because of the Turkish immigration that happened some decades ago. I'm starting to get tired, but I'll continue a few more minutes. We've got 72 of us in here, believe it or not. And hopefully you all are enjoying this public live stream. If you all enjoyed it, I'll try to do another one here soon. H. Crayer, have you ever played an RPG video game? Lots of them. They're really great. Darman, Sad HBD Core. Yes, I've heard of him, and I do plan, if I can, because of the content, I will react to some of his stuff if it is possible, if his content allows me to do that. If not, then I won't be able to, unfortunately. Toontail Official, Animaniacs, yeah, I'm familiar with it. Undertaker Lover, SpongeBob episode tier list. Yep, I will consider that. Bye Pilot, don't worry, I'll have to go in a few minutes. I will rest. My hand and my voice and my body from sitting here is starting to get tired. Sketchbook 10, $5 donation. Appreciate the support, Sketchbook 10. Very active in this live stream. They say, seconding the Avatar Recom, Avatar and Hey Arnold, as long as running series would be amazing. And I'll consider that. I'm going to need something after Ned's. People are just used to tuning in on Tuesdays, so I think I'm going to replace it with something. I don't know. Even if I don't do a series, it will continue to be one of my published days. Thank you for the support, Sketchbook 10, and all of the other contributors today on the live stream. I'll do a few more minutes, though. Have you ever heard of Pokemon? Jolt Jackalope. It's tough to grow up in America without hearing about it. Interestingly, the same school that I was an assistant principal at when they had the bottle flip go on or start was the same period of time when Pokemon Go started. And there was one classroom in the school right down the hall from my office that had a Pokemon at that physical location. So what you would have is you would have students that would go in there with their phone, not to do anything legitimate, but they'd try to catch that Pokemon. So imagine the teacher's in there and they have all these random students that they don't even have in class trying to catch Pokemon, and then like knock people over trying to do it. It got to be a real problem. By Pilot, yeah, I'd love to take a look at your RPG game when you finish. Nintendrovert, what are some of your favorite video games? So back in the day, anything really on NES. I grew up on the original Nintendo, and I played Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64. Mario 64, I think, is one of the best of all time. Even now, I play games. I'm into Minecraft big time. I thought about having a video where, like, if you're a channel member, you can play with me on the server, and we play, and we make a video of that, and you can be in the video. So if you are interested in that, let me know. But I do play. There's some other videos on this channel of me playing games. There's a playlist of me playing games. Emory, there was this one history teacher who'd hit the desk and scream. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's probably a little too far if you're doing that all the time. My question as that person's principal would be, you can't control the class without hitting something. Let's talk about, how you can control your class without having to scream. If you're having to scream, then there's some other issues going on. Lean on Me, Shinobi Blade Productions. Yeah, that one's definitely on my list. And again, I'm sorry if I skip your message. I keep saying that because I've been on other people's live streams, and I'm like, why won't they read my comments? So I know how it feels. I'm sorry. All right. And it's funny, we've got 66 people in here, and according to my YouTube, according to my app here, we've had 663 people cycle in and out of the stream, which is mind-blowing. And my voice is starting to get tired too, so I'm going to have to stop in a minute. By Pilot, yeah, we'll play Minecraft sometime. We'll make it happen. Lane Shoes, yeah, some people put on videos and go to sleep. I do that sometimes with other people's videos that I like. I just do. The same way people would, turn on TV and fall asleep watching TV. It's the same thing. Anna Waymeyer, I used to steal Pokemon toys off of kids' backpacks in school when I was really young, but then I got in trouble and learned my lesson. Okay, well, at least we all learn from those things. H. Crayer, would you be opposed to trying Pokemon Stadium 2? I wouldn't be opposed to trying anything as long as it's clean. By Pilot, was the history teacher's last name Trunchbull? That's pretty funny. Emory, then there are many potential firings if you would be the principal in a German school. Yeah, I guess. Maybe. Which, while I was in Berlin, we did visit some schools and talk to some teachers, because the reason I was there in Berlin was to learn about the German education system. It was pretty interesting. I liked my time there. Yep, Mario 64. Nintendrovert, Golden Spatulas, which, by the way, the other day I reacted to Neptune Spatula, the SpongeBob episode. It's not edited yet. Oh, let's see. By Pilot. I once fell asleep to the live stream of a bunch of Slavic people playing D&D because this Russian streamer would accidentally hit stream instead of record. Okay, that'd be embarrassing. Lance Chews Cardboard. Does your definition of profanity extend like what the H? Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to have a pretty strict definition of that. Dante Mode, what's your biggest accomplishment? You know, I don't know. Some of the most impactful accomplishments would be times where I had really troubled students that would sort of turn themselves around, because there are some students that never do that. They sort of, get themselves removed from school sometimes, but others that they're get in trouble, and then they just do a complete 180 and go on to do great things. Probably something in that realm. By Pilot, dolphin sounds, yeah, just like Sailor Mouth. Video Master says hello from Pittsburgh, PA. Brett replied, did you have students come into your office who were bullied? Yeah, unfortunately that happened a lot. Not a lot, but more than I would like. And so what do? I hear from a lot of people online that say, I was bullied and they didn't do anything about it. You always investigate it. You always take every bullying complaint seriously. Now, some people would come to me and say, you didn't do anything about it. But really what they meant was the person wasn't suspended out of school. And if you investigate and it's either without cause or you can't prove it, and you can't suspend them. I can't just go up to a person and say, you're suspended for bullying, and they say, well, where's your evidence? Well, I don't have any, but you're still suspended. It doesn't work like that. So you always investigate every complaint of bullying. But yes, I would have people come to my office. Let's see. Jack Crick says, we need corporal punishments in school again. Kids are bad these days. Some places, as I've said, they still do have it. You can argue whether that's good or bad. H. Crayer, what accent of Spanish are you trying to acquire? It sounds somewhat like Spanish from Spain, but not quite the same. I don't know, honestly. I'm not trying to do a particular accent. Where I live in the U.S., you have people from different places, but the vast majority of people who speak Spanish around my area are from Mexico, and so that is the accent that I hear the most. I don't intentionally imitate them. Now, Spanish from Spain, of course, is very different, and you've got the vosotros, and you say como estáis instead of como están. Very different. Jolt Jackalope, don't schools have security cameras? They do have security cameras. Emery, are teachers civil servants or employees? Are they both in a public school in the USA? If by civil servant, I guess yes. I'm not sure how you define that. But as a teacher or anybody who works for a school, you're employed by the local Board of Education, which is sort of a government entity. The school board members are elected by the people who then approve the different people who work there. So I guess sort of both. Let's see. And again, I'm going to have to stop in a minute. Just reading down. Originella says I should do the episode Lupe's Revenge of King of the Hill. I have looked at that. I don't know whether or not the content will allow me to do it. I don't know one way or the other, but I did look at that the other day. I may try it. Alejandro Gutierrez, the teachers really get summer vacation. They do most of the time. So people who work for school systems are on different length of contracts. Most teachers are on a 10-month contract, meaning that they get 2 months off. They are paid for those months. What really happens, though, is they take their pay that they would get, and instead of dividing it into just the 10 months that they work, they divide it into 12 months, which means you're paid a little bit less, but you get paid even during the 2
2 months that you don't work. You all, I've been talking for 1 hour and 46 minutes straight, and I'm starting to not be able to do it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I really, really appreciate it. We had almost 700 people show up at different random times. So I really appreciate it. I'm starting to get a little dry mouth. I can't talk anymore. So if you have something else that you wanted to say, please look for this and post a comment when it's uploaded, and I will look at it. I do look at all the comments. Thank you, those of you who donated. I really, really appreciate that for sure. I don't know how to see the names of the people who donated, or I'd read them again. But we had Such a Turd, that's their name, and Sad HBD Core, MVP of the stream, Sad HBD Core, with their multiple donations, and also Sketchbook 10 with the contribution. I really appreciate the contribution to the channel, and then Peter Pie with the gifting of the memberships. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Really appreciated your participation. This was really fun. I hope it was fun for you. I'll plan to do another one again sometime. But I hope you all have a good evening, if it is evening for you, and a great day tomorrow. This has been Brandon from School Principal Reacts, and I'll see you on the next video or the next stream. Have a good one.